The whole premise of this is that, oh, look, both parties have gotten more polarized, which is not the case.
I think most Americans are consistently don't give a shit. That's what they are.
Yeah.
You know, the amount of people that don't vote and don't pay any attention, that's the majority in this country.
I agree with you. And it's because of stuff like this. It's because the news media reports it like this. They're all the same. They're all the same. They all do the same. Here we go.
The split isn't just ideological. Republicans are rural, Democrats are urban, and attract the bulk of minority voters. This divide is reflected in a host of issues, from immigration to health care to climate change.
Okay, she says this divide is revealed in a host of... It's immigration to health care to climate change. Now, I'm going to tell you something. In the 80s, the Republicans were for immigration. Ronald Reagan did amnesty for Hispanics. He did it. Right? So, and then in the 90s, the Republicans were for Planned Parenthood. Yes, they were for it. They were, and yes.
And by the way, George W. Bush was for immigration. That's why they shut down that issue at that time, was because he was like, wait a second, I'm from a border state.
Yes.
And a lot of what you're saying is simply not true.
Climate change, they used to be on board with climate change. They used to be on board with it. They used to be on board with it.
Their whole thesis about Republicans being rural and Democrats being urban was all based on the opening theme song of Green Acres.
Okay, yeah, there's more to this report.
The debate is over. Climate change is real.
Climate change is the perfect pseudoscientific theory.
See, so they showed you, look, one guy's actually tethered to reality, one guy isn't. They're both the same. One guy's a Neanderthal knuckle-dragging, backward, Dark Ages thinker who's denying science, and another one's a normal person. Look, they're equal. Look how crazy both parties are. Look how crazy they are. One of them completely denies science and the modern age, and one of them doesn't. Look, they're both... This is Al Jazeera doing this. Now I get why they're going off the air in April.
By the way, not only is this a hackneyed, wrong narrative, but at no point so far have they gotten to anything within this story that makes me think, like, why are you telling me this?
Why are you telling me this?
You've told me nothing.
You
told me nothing new.
Yeah.
You told me nothing that, like, I couldn't have heard 1,000 times on CNN before.
But they're packaging it in a bullshit frame. That's how they give it to you.
I have a feeling that whoever produced that piece knew that the end was coming to Al Jazeera and is trying to get hired by CNN.
This is like their audition piece, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
See, I can produce non-news with
That's
the best
right.
of them.
Look, I could do false equivalencies. Come on, you guys. I heard that.
I can fill airtime without actually saying anything so well. Come on.
And organizations that once had bipartisan support, such as Planned Parenthood, are now caught in the political crossfire.
They're not caught in the political crossfire, right? They used to have bipartisan support, and now they don't. Why is that, Al Jazeera? It's because one party is now bat crap crazy and has given their entire platform over to religious crazies. The Democrats haven't moved. They've stayed consistent on the side of Planned Parenthood, just like the Republicans used to be with George Herbert Walker Bush. He used to brag about how much they supported Planned Parenthood because Planned Parenthood makes sense.
If anybody should support Planned Parenthood, it's George Herbert Walker Bush.
Yes. Did you have something to say?
I was going to say, like, it's kind of like having two parents and one of them goes off the rails and starts beating the kids, and their report is, boy, the kid is stuck in the middle between the good one and the bad one. That's what they're doing.
Yes. Boy, the kid is stuck in the middle.
Yeah, the kid is
middle?
Yeah.
No. The Democrats they're supporting the kid.
We should support the parent trying to save the children's life.
That's so funny. It's a great way to put it.
Planned Parenthood should be funded, supported, and appreciated.
I have vetoed funding for Planned Parenthood, and if I were president of the United States, I would do exactly the same thing.
This is what the picture looks like now in the primary season, with candidates appealing to their core constituencies. In the general election, the nominees may try to move a little to the middle ground.
No, they won't.
But that is increasingly shrinking political real estate.
Yes, because and they just showed, Frank, you can't see this. The visual is they showed a person putting in a Hillary poster and then a Ted Cruz poster. Say there's very little room for middle ground, as if Hillary is just as radical and extreme as Ted Cruz. Hillary Clinton could not be more mainstream, down the middle, not going to offend the status quo, upset the status quo. She's very status quo, Hillary Clinton. Ted Cruz is bat crap crazy. Okay, and they're trying to make they both are that. Look, they can't. Hillary, Ted Cruz would never come together. They're so far apart. Yeah, one person is normal in a regular human being space where a citizen would be, and another one is crazy.
Indeed. I mean, the middle ground is where Hillary lives.
Let's see if there's anything left here.
Especially when it comes to consistent voters. Lisa Stark, Al Jazeera, Washington.
That's Lisa Stark, Al Jazeera. Great job, Lisa.